So I'll try not to skip ahead. Oops, okay. And pardon me, because I am working hard. So I am Rochelle Cooks. I am with the Welcoming Center. I am the Director of Workforce Development. And today I've been asked to speak with you about the Engaging Immigrant Talent Toolkit, which we released in June of this year. And so first, I'll just tell you a little bit about what we do, the organization, and who we serve, and then I'll go into a little bit about the toolkit itself. So we focus on working with immigrants, so that's our who our participants represent. And so just wanting to share with you all that immigrants, often referred to as foreign-born workers, make up approximately 20% of the Philadelphia workforce. And according to a recent Philadelphia Works analysis of the 2019 ACS PUMS 5-year estimates, the majority of foreign-born workers in Philadelphia are between the ages of 25 and 54, outnumbering native-born workers in the 25 to 34 age bracket. According to the same data, the majority of our foreign-born population identify as Black, Hispanic, or Asian. And many of the foreign-born workers have a college degree from a foreign institution. Unfortunately, foreign-born workers tend to be concentrated in low to mid-skill level jobs, which greatly affects their economic mobility. And so why is that important? And much of it was covered by Danik and Nikki as well. So with the Welcoming Center, we focus on promoting inclusive economic growth through immigrant integration. We focus on 3 areas: workforce development, entrepreneurship, and community engagement. And our International Professionals Program and Immigrant Fellowship Program specifically works with foreign-born workers who have a bachelor's degree or higher and are ready to work without restrictions, meaning they have their U.S. work authorization and can work from day one. We also offer contextualized ESL classes because we know that immigrants' earning potential is correlated to their English language proficiency. And so diversity, equity, and inclusion strategies have been implemented across many organizations nationwide and more intentionally as of last year. So the Welcoming Center wants to ensure that through these initiatives, the immigrants are included in those strategies. And so, like I mentioned, we released our toolkit earlier this year in collaboration with the Junkin Group, who developed it for us, and it was funded by the Miriam Acefa Fund in partnership with the Department of Commerce in Philadelphia. So today I'll chat a little bit about the toolkit and give you a brief overview, and then we'll have some questions. And so in 2019, the Engaging Immigrant Talent Initiative began, I'm sorry, my apologies. We serve, the Immigrant Talent Toolkit serves as a guide that can be adapted for businesses and organizations of any size to learn how to either integrate immigrants into the workplace for the first time or further develop their integration strategies. The toolkit was not designed to give all the answers. It was designed so that employers can find the right answers for their organization, because we understand that each organization is different because there are different people within the organization. And so it was an 18-month study that we conducted interviews, focus groups, and roundtables with employers, as well as nonprofits and immigrants themselves. The conversations examine how to develop more inclusive hiring, promotion, and retention practices and create a culturally competent work environment to successfully integrate immigrants into the workplace. So what does integration look like? Before starting it, we recommend making sure to do an assessment of the organization to understand the readiness of the staff. Because whenever bringing in immigrants or anyone, honestly, into an organization, it's very important to make sure that it's an environment where they will thrive. And so we highly recommend doing an assessment to understand where you are and where you would like to go, and be able to identify along the way what progress has been made and what adjustments need to be made along the way. Because obviously there are times where we'll make a change, think it's the perfect option, and then realize it's not as effective as we thought that it was going to be. And then also making sure that all staff are engaged in this process. So it's not just leadership who has to be involved in this process, it's making sure that staff of all levels are included and in order to develop a competent environment. And so this image that you see on the screen is, it illustrates the key components of the toolkit. We focus on awareness, responsibility, and accountability. And like I mentioned, with awareness, it's really identifying what beliefs, attitudes, or practices may hinder or promote immigrant integration into the workplace. And then it's understanding that we all take a responsibility in addressing those issues, and making sure that if there's something that we're doing well, we want to make sure to highlight it. We want to make sure that we continue and build on it. And then with accountability, it's making sure that as we assess what's going on within our organizations, that we make sure to address them and identify them to pinpoint what is contributing to our success or not. And the one thing I do want to actually mention here is with regards to, and I want to just give an example because stories are better. So for an example, when oftentimes employers are looking to bring in diverse candidates. And so it's important to recognize that it's not just making sure that you have a diverse applicant pool, it's making sure to identify whether, if you're looking to bring in diverse candidates, absolutely reaching out to local organizations, associations to recruit diverse candidates, but also identifying whether, so if you're getting a diverse candidate pool, are they making it to the interview round? Are they making it to the hiring level? And then once they're onboarded, are they over time given opportunities to advance within the organization? If those things are not happening along the way, that's something to be aware of, and put some steps in place so that we can promote them. This actually points back to the question that Chris raised a moment ago, where when bringing individuals in on entry-level position, if they're not moving up into the organization, it's the organization has to identify what opportunities for career development are occurring within the organization. And oftentimes the employers will have wonderful benefit packages, tuition reimbursement, opportunities for webinars to get certifications and things like that. However, if employees are not taking advantage of those, then that's something for the organization to consider. So offering the incentive or benefit is fantastic. Also knowing who is taking it, who is utilizing them, and who is not utilizing them, because that's also something to be aware of. If you recognize that you're those being promoted within an organization only fit within a particular demographic, and another demographic is not leveraging those opportunities to also advance their careers, an organization has to be intentional in making sure to make some adjustments to include those individuals in that process. And the other thing that I will say is when we talk about creating a culturally competent workplace, it is an ongoing process. Typically, it takes 2 years for there to be a effective organizational change. And also noting that because it takes intentionality, that also takes time. And so to be open to that as well is critically important. So just wanted to, I'll share here the slide on how to contact the organization, and I'll also drop it in the chat for anyone who would like to get more information about the toolkit or learn more about the organization.